Now, I need to figure out a way to get access to Netflix USA because this is a clip that I did not expect to see come up. In this clip, we are going to see Charlamagne Tha God from the Breakfast Club corner Dana White on his relationship with Donald Trump. And this is an interesting clip because I've never really seen something like this. And I'll be honest, I actually expected someone like Dana White to really kind of get aggressive in regards to his response, but you didn't see that in this clip. You didn't see it at all. There's a second part where they speak about the incident where Dana White hit his wife, but I'll leave the link in the description below so you can check that part out. I just want to focus mainly on the discussion around Trump. Let's get into it.
You know, you were on the Katie Miller podcast, and you said in regards to your relationship with Trump and has it cost the UFC business, you said, I don't give a shit. I don't know the answer to that question. I've gotten to a point in my life, especially after COVID and all that nutty shit that went on during that time, that I only want to be in business with and talk to people that I'm aligned with.
Well, I don't know about talk to people that I'm aligned, but I want to do business with people that I'm aligned with for sure.
So you're aligned with Trump on what exactly?
Well, Trump is a good friend of mine. I mean, I've been friends with him for 25 years. Mm-hmm. Friends. I mean, he just happened to become the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And he and I have never had he had us at the Trump Taj Mahal. When we first bought this company, the stigma that was attached to this thing, you can imagine, think about this. It wasn't allowed on pay-per-view. You as a grown adult didn't have the option to buy it on pay-per-view. Porn was on pay-per-view. The UFC was not allowed on pay-per-view. That was the uphill battle we had. So you can imagine venues didn't want us because these guys were like, what kind of people will show up to watch this kind of an event? And he had us at the Trump Taj Mahal for the first two fights, 30 and 31, UFC 30 and 31. And then after we did those two fights, first he showed up for the first fight of the night and stayed till the end for both events. And you think the Trump brand then and the UFC brand, and every good thing that ever happened to me in my career after that, he was always the first guy to reach out. So then when he was running in 16, he called me and asked me, would you speak for me at the Republican convention? And everybody told me not to do it. Don't do it. This is going to be bad. And he's never going to win and all that kind of stuff. But this was a guy that was always good to me and, always treated me well, and I did it.
I can understand that. That's your friend. But when your friend has a disapproval rating of 62%, right, record high, people say they don't like his handling of the Iran war, the economy's shitty, cost of living for people is fucked up. Why can't you tell your friend he's failing the people? As a friend.
Well, he's the president of the United States.
Still your friend, though.
And, yeah, I know. But, for me to get involved in, it's like if your friend had I'm sure people disagree with you that are friends with you, and everybody has friends that you just doesn't mean you're not friends with them anymore. It doesn't mean that you're.
Oh, no, I didn't say you shouldn't be friends with them. I just said, why can't you tell your friend he's failing the people? Because these are the same people who make UFC a success.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree that he's failing the people. I think that when the president is done in 3 years, people will look back on and realize a lot of the good things. See, I'm closer to him too, and I see all the good things that he does that a lot of people, either don't see or don't want to see.
But tariff inflation has increased the price of household goods, increased utility bills because household electricity costs have gone up 9%. The failure to extend the Affordable Care Act has fucked up people's health care. Everyday working class people who support your sport are hurting.
You're never going to have a president that sits in the White House that everybody approves 100% of everything they do, and not everything is always going to be perfect. You're going to have some things that work out great and a lot of things that don't. It's no different than running a business or any other thing. Nobody's ever going to be absolutely perfect.
Oh, I agree.
When they're the president of the United States.
But can you tell your friend when he's...
Yeah, we talk about a lot of things, but I don't try to get into...
You like everything he's doing?
Like I just said, you're never going to agree with everything. But, as a friend, I'm not going out there. And he and I have never, other than the first two UFC events, nothing with us is transactional.
So your relationship with Trump is bigger than business. It's actually personal.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a real friendship, not some type of, he has lots of friends, especially now that he's the president. We don't have that. We've had a 25-year real friendship and real relationship.
But don't be a glazer, though, Dana.
Don't be what?
A glazer. Like just somebody that just tells him he's great, a yes man, basically.
Yeah.
You gotta tell him when he's.
I don't think anybody's ever accused me of being a yes man.
Okay.
And I think that's that's part of it. But listen, I'm not an overly political person either.
Are you part of the MAGA movement culturally? Do you align with their ideologies and their values?
You know, I consider myself right down the middle or leaning a little liberal, to be honest with you. Everybody thinks I'm some far right guy because of our relationship. I'm more about common sense. I'm a common sense guy. And if it makes sense to me, then I'm probably in.
So when you see the Joe Rogans, the Theo Vaughns, the Andrew Schultzes actually, calling out Trump and what they don't like, what do you think of that?
I think that everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and if there's things that you see that you don't like, and you want to be political, call them out.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Most CEOs try to stay politically neutral to protect the brand. You almost seem kind of like proud to be political, I guess.
Not proud to be political. I mean, I'm just saying that this guy is my friend, and nothing is perfect. And whoever is the next president, right or left, isn't going to be perfect either. I just think that I don't base my relationship with him on politics.
Well, what about when people say that you're the reason why a lot of young male voters, because of UFC and everything that you have, voted for Trump, and that was something that, like, even if you didn't mean to do, it was widely talked about, and you still leaned into helping his popularity in the space.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But that gets political then.
Yeah,
so
I guess.
So you're responsible for the high tariffs and the high inflation costs, and
I guess so. I guess if that's the way you want to look at it,
for people
it's all my fault.
No, I'm just saying you're responsible for people's healthcare getting cut. I'm just saying, like, that's what you're essentially saying.
Okay.
Jesus.
I mean, I don't. I that's not the way I look at it, but I guess I could see why you would look at it that way, and you could, frame it like that.
What's the craziest thing a fighter has asked you for besides money? Is there anything on the side that a fighter said, "This is weird" or "This is strange"?
Cocaine?
No, nobody's ever asked me for cocaine.
So let me go ahead and leave it there. Like I said, what I'll do for you guys is I will leave the link in the description below so you guys can actually go and check out the full exchange. But stay with me simply because of the fact that I want to give you guys just a few of my thoughts on this exchange. So the first thing, now what you have to understand is this is a classic case of a wealthy individual who is financially benefiting and benefited off of what Donald Trump does. So his mindset is, well, it doesn't really matter what Donald Trump's doing. See, billionaires like Dana White don't feel tariff inflations, but the very core of his business, i.e. the fans, they do. Dana White literally said losing money means nothing to him. And that is exactly why he can afford to defend someone like Donald Trump, while the fans of his company, of his business, can't even afford to pay for their groceries, are struggling to put fuel in their tank, can't even pay for healthcare. That mindset right there is the exact reason why, just me as an individual, I genuinely believe something like UFC, it literally should go bankrupt. It should. Because the fans are the ones that are hurting, but they are what make UFC what it is. Dana White is in the position that he is in today simply because of the fact of his fans. And Dana White's friend, I do air figures, friend, is the person that's put these fans in the position that it is that they're in. Now, Dana is the perfect embodiment of what I would say is MAGA's class betrayal. Like, let's really look at it. He admits that he's worth a fortune. He can't push back on the idea that Trump is failing on things like healthcare simply because of the fact that he can't, because there's no debate on that. And then he just shrugs and just says, I guess so, when told he has some responsibility to bear. That is genuinely contempt for working class voters, which are once again his fan base. Now, the fact that it is that he just wants to turn around and just try and say, oh, he's a friend, that's not a get out of accountability card. That is not that. A real friend tells you when you're failing, and Dana refusing to tell Trump anything proves that It's not a thing of he's a real friend. He's a friend because of how it is that he's benefited him. But then on top of that, he doesn't really care about the very fans that put him and his family in the position that it is that they are in. And that speaks volumes. Now, he said earlier on, you could see by his energy in the clip that the disapproval numbers don't really matter. That's how he probably thinks about it. But Trump is more unpopular than any modern president at this point in his term. And MAGA cultural figures are here propping him up, doing it against the will of the United States and the people. That's exactly what's taking place. This, honestly, for me, was such a good clip, because the reality is this: if there's any working class individual, anyone who is MAGA, any independent who voted for Donald Trump, this clip needs to be played to them. It needs to be played to them because they need to see for themselves in 1080p, 4K, whatever they're watching it on, that Donald Trump and his friends, they don't care about what's happening and what's taking place. Do you know why? Because this is not affecting them. It's not affecting them in any way, shape, or form. This is only affecting the working class and poor individuals. And this is a perfect video, a perfect embodiment of that. Now, all it is I'm going to say is this. What Charlamagne has done in this clip, and Lauren DeRosa to a certain extent, I loved it. Because I just don't feel like the majority of the mainstream media would do it, simply because of the fact that when they get someone like Dana White in front of them, they start to probably get a bit intimidated and start to feel to themselves, because this is someone who's very aligned with Donald Trump. This is someone who is very wealthy individual. They won't press and corner Dana White like this. But the fact Charlamagne did and held him to account was phenomenal. Let me know, guys, in the comment section below. How can I see this? I need to see this full exchange, because The Breakfast Club is now on Netflix in the UK. Let me know how it is that I can access this down in the comment section below. And let me know your guys' thoughts on this entire exchange. Once again, bravo, Charlamagne. Bravo, Lauren DeRosa. I'll leave a link in the description, because you're going to see a back and forth, a bit of an exchange about the situation where Dana White hit his wife, and just another example of he's so wealthy that nothing affects him and nothing phases him. I might do a video on that, who knows, but let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Appreciate you guys, and as usual, I'll see you guys in the next clip.